In what universe could you answer a Craigslist ad and end up on a freaking spaceship going to Mars? From mind-numbing boredom one moment to being absolutely scared to death the next, life in space is always interesting. It's an adventure, just like they promised. Told from the perspective of a military aircraft mechanic, who was just doing his best to hold things together. If you've ever wondered what it's really like to be out in the stars floating in your tin can, this is the other side of science fiction. It's when everything aligns just right, the planets and opportunities, when our unlikely hero gets a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Adventure and mayhem await. Introducing Mars Clipper. What would it be like if you closed your eyes and imagined the perfect job, better yet, the perfect career, the perfect life? Maybe you'd wake up, go to work, doing something you were good at, working with people who appreciated you. Your job mattered. When you have an idea, people consider it. The team you work with is just amazing. You feed off of each other's creative energy. This is the dream. The one you don't even dare to think about sometimes. It's that good. Oh, and yeah, you're on a spaceship, and your best friend is a robot. Welcome to Mars Clipper. I'm sure we've all had jobs we didn't like. You just hated going to work. The money was crap, your boss was a jerk, and at the end of the day, absolutely nothing mattered. Why even go? Well, so you get paid. So you can pay your rent. You never really got anywhere, though. That is no way to live. When I started this story, I felt like I was drowning. Most days, it just felt like my head was just a little bit underwater. I was looking at Craigslist ads for new jobs while I was working, like actually at work. That's probably not a good career move. I remember thinking, okay, what do the gurus say? Write it all out. What are you looking for? What is your perfect situation? Have fun. Write the details. Color it in, right? By the second week, the robot started to feel alive. I'll just be giggling. The robot gets all the best lines. I have to write this to get it out of my head. This is fiction, but barely. Almost all of this could happen, maybe more than you realize. The rest, well, I just made it up, of course. Episode 0. Episode 0 videos are the prequel, the introduction to what I'm calling Season 1. When I was writing this, I always thought of it more than just a book. I remember thinking, wouldn't it be fun to shoot this as a live action, or do animation or something? I just wanted to hang out with the robot, I guess. I'd like to send out a special thank you to my wonderful supporters and Patreons. If you are interested in helping me to continue this project, please do check that out. The links are in the video description, of course. Hi, I'm Carlin. Thanks for coming along. I'm really glad I kept a journal of all this. I'm not sure I would have believed the events as they unfolded, and I was there. It was just crazy. Madness. I'm not sure it was real, but I'm glad I went through with it all the same. I had that itch again. Time to move on, explore, change things up a bit. I've always had that. Nothing has ever felt right, made me feel like I wanted to stay. I almost never renew an apartment lease. After work, I'm sitting there drinking a beer, idly browsing Craigslist, just to see if anything catches my eye. Like this one, for example. We're looking for a special kind of person, self-starter, adventure travel type, veterans preferred. You'll have a wide variety of skills, a jack of all trades, as comfortable with a MIG welder as a camera. Understand programming and mechanical systems. Risk taker, someone who can work well alone or in small groups. Let's talk. Wow, sounds like some kind of multi-level scam. Looking around my apartment, my life still fits in a sea bag. I click a link, fill out the form for more information. Ding! Auto reply comes back almost instantly. Click the link. More vagueness. Another quick form. Check the boxes. Things I've done. List countries I've visited. Driver's license classes. Flight experience. Flight experience? Okay. I was trained to start the engines on the F-14 Tomcat. I flew front seat in a sailplane glider once. Lots of flight simulator computer games. I worked on aircraft for 9 years, helicopters and jets. That might be important. Military experience, mechanical experience, languages, computer stuff, personality profile tests. Erg. Oh, I hate those. Now it's about 3 a.m., at least tomorrow. Today is Saturday. I can sleep in. Off to the rack. Beep, beep, beep. Stupid phone. Can't turn the alarm off. Pry my eyes open to see the screen. It's a phone call. No one calls me. Must be a wrong number. How do you even hang this thing up? Oops. Accidentally answer. Okay. Hello?
Yes, hello Carlin, my name is Joe, I'm looking at your file here. Do you have a moment?
Who the hell is this, and do you have any idea what time it is?
Yes, like I said, my name is Joe, and it's about 5:05 your local time. Anyway, I'm looking at your file, and I see you went to boot camp in San Diego, in 1985, worked on military aircraft, worked on computers. You have the kind of skills we're looking for. I'd really appreciate it if you can get down to the Marriott. We have a job fair this morning, the start time is 8 o'clock.
Wait, I don't understand.
I'm sending an email, with more info, please don't be late, okay? Sorry, I can't spend more time explaining this, more calls to make. Please don't be late, and good luck. Goodbye.
Click. Ding! Another email. We are a growing company in the technology and transportation sector, and will be holding a recruiting meet and greet Saturday at 0800 at the Marriott. Dress informal, jeans are fine. Please bring government-issued ID. Light refreshments and lunch will be provided. Squinting at the clock. Okay, if I move fast, I can get there. I do not feel like moving fast, though. The bed is tempting. But, well, what if, right? I really need a change. I managed to find a motorcycle-sized parking spot. Walk in a few minutes early. First stop is the normal hotel-supplied coffee. Grab a hot cup of steaming love.
Please take your seats.
The lights flash a couple times. Eyes still a bit blurry. I managed to find an empty chair close to the aisle, settle in, and stare at the thin info package, photocopied and stapled. This just feels odd, but the coffee is good. I'll stay a bit longer.
Good morning. I'm Carol. I work for a local recruiting and staffing company. I'll just read this. You have the same sheet on your tables there. A privately owned corporation is seeking a small number of individuals for a contract position in a remote location. Because of the expense of the operation, and the remoteness of the location, applicants will be thoroughly screened, and once deployed, return will not be possible until the end of the contract. The ideal applicant would be someone with no dependents or family obligations, and persons with military experience highly desirable. Applicants will need a broad range of skills, including but not limited to mechanical, computers, physical dexterity, technical, fabrication and maintenance of highly complex machinery, and adept at high-level problem solving. Technical assistance may not always be available. The company will train you extensively, both before deployment, and also on the job, both in hands-on and computer-based training, in theory, troubleshooting, maintenance, and fabrication skills. And that's all I have. I'm sure many of you are curious about this opportunity, but please understand, the terms on the deployment and relocation are the essence of the job, and are not open to discussion or negotiation. Please review the information on your table. If you're still interested, fill out the form on the last page. Thank you for your time, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
I sit still a few moments and absorb my coffee. People start to leave. The info package is word for word what she read. No dependents or family obligations is underlined. I don't have other plans for now, and I'm here. I fill out the form. It's pretty short. Name, phone number, a few check boxes like military status, if I understand the deployment, obligations, etc. Obviously, I'll keep the pen. Marriott, it's a quality pen. A few minutes later, Carol again.
You've made the first cut. Congratulations.
I look around and there are maybe 30 people still here. I hadn't noticed, but there are seats for about 300, and it seemed full. Okay, so the 10% remaining then.
If you're still interested, we will start interviews. We have some snacks in the back, and coffee. Please move up to the front row of seats. We only have this room for another hour.
Coffee and snacks. Yeah, I better grab some of those, just in case. This shouldn't take long. People are still leaving. Maybe 20 or so of us waiting now. The hotel staff is already starting to clear the chairs and tables in the back. Carol points at the first 4 people to follow her. On 2 hours sleep, I just hold on to my coffee and try to focus. 2 more people are called, and then my group. Small meeting room, go in and have a seat. I'm surprised I'm in a one-on-one interview already. Another lady from the recruitment company, Joanne, according to her name tag.
Good morning. I'm sure you have lots of questions?
Yes, I do.
Sorry, she says, I don't have many answers for you. Do you have the form filled out?
Yes, here.
Thanks, as she looks at it for about a second, and then flips it over. Just a few questions then. When did you serve in the Navy? And what kind of work did you do?
I was in from 1985 to 1994. I was an airframes mechanic, jets and helicopters.
So you had actual at-sea time then?
Yes, 1 year and 4 months total. A couple deployments ran over 6 months each. I'm surprised she knows about sea time. That's interesting.
Okay, good. So you understand deployments?
Yes, that I do.
Any other skills or job experience you'd like to add?
I have done some MIG welding. I grew up on a farm, so I'm used to the idea of working on heavy equipment, getting the job done, not worrying about the time clock. I worked at a small computer shop, both in sales and service. Have done tech support. I've done metalwork, woodwork, composites, fiberglass, some wiring and electrical. I can read a diagram. Okay, I really don't know what you really need to know.
Yeah, all good. I wish I could tell you more, but I really don't know.
Sure. Okay, well, I'm still interested. I don't really have much holding me here, so if relocating is a requirement, I'm still in. I just need to let my current job know, I guess.
Understand that. Do you have plans for today?
No, I had actually planned on sleeping in, but that's about it.
Ha ha. Okay. You seem like the kind of person they're looking for. Here's a voucher for lunch at the hotel restaurant. At 12 p.m., if you're still interested, be at this room, as she hands me a piece of paper. Thank you for your time, and for your service, and best of luck to you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I pick up my coffee and go outside, stretch, and walk around in the sun. I still don't know anything. After lunch and another coffee, I find my way to the next meeting room a little early, and am surprised to only see 3 other people waiting outside the door. At 12 o'clock sharp, an older guy in jeans and a black t-shirt walks up past us and unlocks the door, then invites us in with a wave of his arm. Once we're inside, he looks down the hall briefly, then closes the door and locks it. Then he walks over to a table and sits down. Please, have a seat. Thank you for coming. And thanks for being on time. I'm George. I'm sure you all have lots of questions. I know I sure would. Okay then, who do we have? Your names please, starting at the end. Hi, I'm Mark. Sam. Carlin, I say. And Rob. Okay, great. As George sorts through the papers and pulls out a few, laying them out on the table, presumably our forms. Carlin and Mark, you are the veterans, yes? We both look at each other and nod. Good, thank you for your service. Just then there is a knock at the door and a rattle as someone tries to open the knob. Sam starts to get up. George holds up his hand. There's your first lesson. Be on time or you'll miss out. With a wave of his hand, he then ignores the door and looks down at his pad, making some notes, before sitting up straight and turning towards us. Sorry for repeating ourselves, but I just need to cover the basics again before we move forward. You've all read the info and attended the briefing this morning, and no one has a problem being deployed to a remote area for extended period of time. We all say no. Okay, good. Thank you. Training starts on the 15th, so about 2 weeks from now, in Montana. You'll be there for about 3 months. It will all be indoors, so don't worry about the weather. Would that be a problem for any of you? Assuming the job is reasonable, I should turn in notice at my job, says Carlin. Sure, that's a good point, says George. I'm currently self-employed. I'd need to let my clients know I'm leaving, but not a big deal, says Mark. Rob says, will we know more before we need to sign a contract? Yeah, you'll know more, but we need to have you in Montana before the training starts, says George. Okay then, says Rob. Sam?
Ha, this is so odd. I'll say yes on conditions I know more before I sign.
Your employment contract is for the next 5 years, says George. It's kind of like a tour in the military. For the cost of training and setting up the deployment, we need to be sure we have a crew that won't just up and quit on us. Plus the location of the deployment itself, its remoteness, makes crew rotation somewhat impractical. George continues. As for compensation, you will receive a signing bonus up front. That should help you get things settled before you head off for training. You will get a monthly salary. While we're in training, we have a small commissary, and meals are provided. Normal stuff, we have free medical, dental, etc. Housing is also provided. Salary is $150,000 a year, and the signing bonus is $50,000, but believe me, you will earn it. And in a way, you won't really need the money anyway. You'll be too busy to spend it. But it will be there waiting for you when you get back. Beyond the contract, if you find you enjoy the work, we should have more positions open, advancement, and so on. Or if you choose to go your own way, no hard feelings. Sounds good?
I have a couple questions. Is this a military operation, and do we have to sell anything, says Carlin.
George replies laughing, no, you don't have to sell anything, haha. And no, we're not mercenaries, you won't be invading or killing anyone, nothing bad like that. Honestly, there's no evil plots here, but there will be some elements of risk. What kind of risks? Can you be more specific? Asked Rob. Fair enough. Risks of death or injury, possibly radiation, plus long-term isolation. Everyone gets kind of quiet. Okay, I have non-disclosure agreements. First, let me back up. I'm George. Unlike the others you've met today, I actually am part of the company you would be working for. Myself and my partners started this company a few years ago. We've been quietly developing the technology we'll be using. I won't say secretly, but we've not been issuing press releases, right? In the private sector, sometimes you don't want to encourage competition. We believe we are in a position to go forward now into an untapped market. So the NDAs then. I know you won't want to sign a contract without knowing what you're doing, and we like to keep the list of people who know what we're doing really short. Fair enough? So, in simple language, you are only signing a form that says you won't go telling the details of what we've talked about to the news or, well, anyone, okay?
We look over the form, and they're really simple. Okay, sure, no problem. We sign and give them back.
Thank you, says George, as he slips the NDA back into his case, smiling now. Okay, thank you. That makes it a little easier to talk. Do you remember the stories of the Mayflower, or the Gold Rush, or the wagon trains, the Wild West, the Oregon Trail? Nods all around. Okay, we are creating the infrastructure for settling and exploring near space. Mars first, and then probably beyond that in the years ahead. Mining, settling, shipping supplies, that kind of thing. We're building spaceships, says George, excitedly, a gleam in his eyes.
Silence. We all just look at him, dumbfounded. Seriously, says Carlin.
Yes, really, says George.
Wow, we all say in unison.
And you're just recruiting people off the street to fly spaceships? That sounds so incredible. I mean, really? Says Rob. It's hard to get your head around, isn't it? Agrees George. Unfortunately, I can't just show you the details without you signing the contract. I know it's a big step. I totally get your skepticism. My partners and I had this talk before I started the recruiting. Oh, and by the way, I've had this conversation in most of the major cities in the U.S. in the last few weeks. It would have been a lot easier if we could just post a YouTube video, but like I said, the competitive advantage might be lost. Plus, can you imagine the process of going through all the applications? Urgh. I have the standard contracts here. Please take your time reading those. Remember, it's not about the money. I just made sure the money was enough that you wouldn't need to think about it.
Okay, I'm in, says Carlin.
Me too, says Mark. Okay, says Rob.
No, I think I'll pass, says Sam. I don't think I'd do well in spaceflight. I kind of enjoy time on Earth.
Fair enough then, Sam, says George, standing to shake his hand. You understand the conditions of the NDA, right? I'd appreciate you not going public with this. Maybe sometime in the future you could say you remember the day.
Sure, I understand, and thank you for the opportunity. If there's nothing else, I should be going. Best of luck to you all, says Sam as he makes his way to the door and leaves.
Turning to us now, George says, smiling, "Welcome to the Mars Clipper Company. Are we all ready to sign now?" A slight pause, then 3
Yes, sirs.
Great. Details. Okay, let's see. Training starts on the 15th. You are on your own for getting to Montana. I'll have the girls in the office send you the information you'll need. Of course, you'll have your signing bonus to help cover your expenses and to clean up your affairs. Most housing leases will let you go if you have an employment offer. I'll give you those before you leave. They're from our parent company, which owns the property in Montana. You can forward your mail there. We'll give each of you a P.O. box. For training, you'll be living in a barracks. You'll have your own room, bathroom, etc. It's not fancy, but it's comfortable. We have some fleet cars at the base, plus a shuttle van to run into town. It's about an hour's drive. If you decide to drive your own car, that's fine. There's a heated car park for employees, so it would be safe to leave it there. You know, when you're out in space. That's just still fun to say. Let's see, what else? The base doesn't have good cell phone coverage, but there is Wi-Fi in the barracks and offices, and there's phones and cable TV in the barracks. Any questions? Is there anything we need to bring? Asked Mark. I'll have the office staff send you a list, but if it's required, we should supply it. We're not military, so there are no uniforms, although we do have some polo shirts we'll give you. Lots of people wear them at least some of the time. Totally optional, though. Jeans or dockers are popular. There are flight suits we'll issue you for some of the training. I'd say bring a couple weeks' worth of underwear, socks, and some shirts, and a few pair of jeans. Most of what we do won't be dirty work. Oh, bring some comfortable shoes and a good pair of work boots. Grooming is also not military, but you'll need to be clean-shaved so the breathing masks fit right. Hair should be short so the helmets fit right. You all seem fine there. Weekends, we can run into town for anything you need, and the normal toiletries for the first couple weeks. Anything you run out of, we can get in the commissary. Are the email and phones on your forms correct? Says George as he hands the forms back. Yes. Okay, good. We'll be in touch. Oh, I almost forgot. I didn't want to have to deal with checks, so I've got $10,000 cash for each of you, and we'll deposit the rest to your accounts in the next couple days. Cool? The office staff will be sending you emails in the next few days for things like direct deposit.
Yeah, I think that would work, says Carlin.
Wow, you brought cash? Okay, good to go, says Rob. Yes, sir, agrees Mark. Any other questions? If not, I'll let you go. Your heads are probably spinning enough. Here's my business card, which has my direct cell phone number, office number, and also the contact information for the office. Most questions the office can handle better than I can. And I'll be on the road for the next 2 weeks, so it may not be much help.
Okay, then. We'll see you soon, says Carlin.
Bye for now. Remember, don't be late, says George, laughing.